tone of these plant lights here a bit. There we go. That's a little better. Hi, how's everybody doing today? I gotta wait for my thing to start up here so I can pause it. um, had a blast last night, but I'm in a lot of pain today. Just because I live in Quebec doesn't mean. Okay, let me just pop my chat out here and bring it on over here. And let's aloha seashell. You're right on the ball today. Yes, 4 jars now ships to Canada. There is a separate link for Canadian orders, but you now can order 4 jars from Canada. All right, hang on a second. Let's get this over with. Come on. Come on. Come on. Here she is. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Watch the nails. You wait until I get online, don't you? Until you hear me start talking. And then it's like, oh, she's talking. I have to come and get my little few minutes of fame. Let me see your ears. They're looking pretty good. Oh, yes. All right. All right. Easy, baby. You were so good last night. We were gone for hours. And you're not used to being left alone at night, are you? But you were so good. I found your moose on my bed, so you must have laid on my bed with your toy, waiting for Mommy to come home. Were you cared? Nah, you're all right, eh? Yes. Oh, scratch the backs of the legs, and then all up the back. You guess, where you go. Do not make eye contact. She'll look back for eye contact. So, how's everybody doing today? Don't look at my hair. I went to the Symphony last night. Let me say hi. Oh, I'm on top chat. I should be on live chat. Make sure you're on live chat so you don't miss anything. Let me say hi, Angela Shepherd. Aloha seashell. I'm not doing well today. Katrina Babe. Hot child in the city. Aaron Taylor, Janet Fitton, Joe Mama, KB Canner, hi Karen, Linda Bopp, Lori, Sally Starn, Sherry Leach, Sue Martin, Sophia. Hang on a second. This is not working. Hang on, I got to pull this up. Rotten buggers. Now I've frigged it up. Isn't that awful? I'm sorry. Well, I got somewhat through the... how did this happen? Hang on, folks. All right. I'm sorry if I missed a few people there, but my computer decided to go. So Howie and I went to the Symphony last night. And don't ask me, okay, who the conductor was. Hang on a second. Don't ask me who the conductor was. All I know is that the violinist who was doing Dvorak was Hilary Hahn. And I'm telling you guys, I'm not a huge Beethoven fan. And the orchestra was about half the size as it should be, but for all its size, it was amazing. And even though I'm not a huge Beethoven fan, it was an experience that we're going to be repeating. Even Howie enjoyed himself. But next time, we're going to get floor seats. I don't give a fiddler's fart if I have to save up 6 months for them. Because we took Howie, it was a kind of a last minute purchase. So the only seats we could get were on the balcony level. So but he managed to get the ones on the end of the row because it's really difficult for me to get in and out and up and down to go to the bathroom and stuff. Hey, Tanya, Tina Elliott, Tammy Wright, Leo. but the problem is sitting at the very end of the row, there was no middle way in, and it was a really long row. You either had to come in my end or the other end. So half the row came in through my side. Then there was one dickhead, eh? There's always one who waits until everybody's sitting and his seat is all the way down at the other end, and he makes all of us get up as he goes down the row. There's always one, right? But there was a little kind of a shelf beside the end of our row, so I just sat there until our row was full, and then we sat down. But we took the elevator up to the balcony level, and then I had to go down 3 flights of stairs. Now, yes, they're beautiful red carpeted stairs, but the thing is they have these, they're still stairs for starters, right? I know that. I hate that. So anyway, we get off the elevator, and the usher showing us where, and he said, you're going to have to go down there to, there's A and B on your level. And I went, you mean down those 3 flights of stairs? And he said, yeah. And then there's like 4 stairs going up to your row. And I just kind of deflated. And I said, okay. So I grabbed onto the railing because I don't do stairs, guys. I can't. It's really hard. So I go down the 7 or 8 steps, get to the second last one, and they've got this beautiful red carpet, but it's got a rubber edge on the edge so that you don't slip. Well, I'm going down sideways like this, and the side of my shoe caught the rubber thing, and I just about went ass over tea kettle, right? So I thought, oh, so then I got down, and then I went down the next flight, and then I went down the next flight, and then I took a breath. And then I hauled my ass up the 4 steps, and then I hauled my ass up onto a box to sit and wait for the row to get in. And then there was the intermission. And because the seats they're comfortable enough, but I couldn't stretch my legs, my knees and my ankles were starting to cramp. So come the intermission, I had to get up and go out. And of course I had to pee, which meant going all the way up those stairs again, and then all the way back down those stairs again. And when the show was over, went all the way up those stairs again. And 2 of the flights of stairs, my left knee gave out. And Howie said, you want me to? And I said, just be nearby, right? Because my left knee will not hold my weight to pull me up a stair. It always has to be my right leg. But when your left knee goes, right? So was it worth it? Absolutely. Could I do it again today? No. No. I'm in so much pain. I was already seizing up when I went to bed last night. So I said, no. I felt myself seizing up in the truck ride on the way home. So I came home. And I took a little bit of, I have some decarbed medicinal herb, and I just threw a little nug in the pot with some water and some cocoa and some sugar and some milk. And I let that simmer for about 15 minutes while I shut everything else down. And then I had me a medicated cocoa when I went to bed. So yeah, I'm in a lot of pain today. Every joint in my body. Shoulders, elbows, wrists, knees, hips, back, and ankles. Head and shoulders, knees and toes, knees and, So, hey, Rosie. Hey, Mary Cook. I get it. I bet you can, Joe. Hey, Mick from Oklahoma. So vitamin K2, honey, there are so many things that I'm supposed to take that I take calcium, magnesium, zinc, D3 in the wintertime. And I do the best I can. Oh, I've got the stuff for pain. Hey, Natalie. Hey, Mary. So I think I'm going to be looking into the 2023 calendar for the National Arts Center, because they don't just do symphony, they do ballet, they do the Nutcracker. I think a couple of years ago they did Fiddler on the Roof, and if that ever comes around again, you by God, I'm getting floor seats. But I'm going to look through their calendar and I'm going to pick the shows, because it was wonderful to listen to live music and watch this violin, and every single one of those people in that orchestra, including first violin and the guest violinist and the conductor, rock stars, absolute stars. You watch them sway and get into their music. And the first violinist was actually lifting his butt off the chair half the time. It was amazing to watch these people get into their music, and then to listen to a sound so perfect that it sounded like a recording almost. It was that perfect. But to watch them do it, and then to think that somebody in the past, Ludwig van Beethoven, wrote the music for each individual instrument in that orchestra. Think about that. He didn't just write the music. He wrote the music for the violins, for the violas, for the bass violas, for the cellos, for the basses, for the French horns, for the 3 different sizes of flutes and the 5 different sizes of oboes and the brass section. Like, what kind of mind do you have to be able to do that, eh? And then to sit there and all these realizations are dawning on you as you're watching, that somebody actually wrote this. And these people are down there just rocking it. Like they're just and watching them put everything they had into their part to make a beautiful, harmonious sound. It brought me to tears more than once. I was really, really circumspect about it, but it brought me to tears more than once. So, exactly. Don't think that Mary Cook everything trash and cost double as years past. Bought myself a new vehicle. Should be the last one of my lifetime. Oh, yeah, that's what I thought about my Dodge. And it was a Tuesday car or something. But anyway, yeah. So what I told Howie, I said, what I want to do is I want to go through the calendar for the National Arts Center, because next year I don't necessarily want to see the Nutcracker. Eventually I'll see the Nutcracker because I love the music. I'm a Tchaikovsky fan. And but I would like to see if there's some kind of Christmas concert where they have like a big choir along with the orchestra and that, like one of those Mormon tabernacle style events is what I would really like to go to. It just has to last till I can live by myself. Do they have seats for handicapped people? Oh, I suppose they do. But like I said, this was a last minute purchase. And Howie, he said there's an elevator, but he didn't realize there were the 3 flights of stairs. But he put us on the aisle so that I wasn't, crammed in, right? Thank you, Kelly Brown. Thank you. I was in the hospital for heart surgery and recovering okay. Positive vibes sent my way are all extremely appreciated. Absolutely. Hey, Andrew, how's it going? Oh, wonderful, Andrew. That's such good news. That is such good news. Yeah, I'm gonna do some concert pickings for the National Arts Center, because Howie enjoyed himself, and I said Beethoven's wouldn't even have been my first pick. If it had been Mozart or Tchaikovsky or anything like that, hell, I'd like to see a piano concert, like a concert pianist. Debussy. It's just, I love classical music. I drove my SUV to its death, 2000 Ford Explorer, basically getting the new engine courtesy of the husband's hands. Well, mine's a 2017, and it's got its dings, man. It's got to be fixed, though. It really does have to be fixed. You are right. I've seen. Okay, what did I miss? If Trans-Siberian Orchestra, oh yeah, Breyer would want to go with us. The Trans-Siberian Orchestra is just something I would love to see, and so would Breyer. And so I'm pretty sure that if that comes around come to Christmas time, that'll be my Christmas gift to Howie and Breyer, is we'll go to that. Yeah, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, absolutely. So I mean, there's ballet, right? Swan Lake ever comes, I'm there. Yes, the Nutcracker comes every year, so I'm really not worried about missing that. But something like Fiddler on the Roof would be just amazing. I'm trying to see Shu Chi in February, but it's Mardi Gras here that time. I did the Trans-Siberian Railway journey when I traveled from Hong Kong to the UK. Amazing adventure. Wow. I mean, I love trains. I do. The only problem is no matter how beautiful they are, no matter how much you pay for a beautiful compartment, I'm not going to be able to wipe my bottom in the tiny, tiny bathrooms. So trains are out for a while. And I'm dealing with Christmas weight, so we'll deal with it, sooner or later. Oh, I have to go put supper in the oven. I'll be right back. We're having our chicken shepherd's pie from last week. Oh, thank God that whenever I make a big meal, I make extras for the freezer, because it makes days like today. Oh. Hang on, guys. My oven is preheating, and I had to put a log on the fire, and I had to cover the casserole with tin foil. So I'm sorry. Thank you for your patience. I'm not big on Les Miserables. I'm really not. I do handicap everything: planes, trains, theaters, games, and so I try. But I'm telling you, all those stairs, I wish I'd had a walker, like a stationary walker with me, because man, oh man, it was not easy. I needed 2 railings, so I could have grabbed the railing and used my walker this way. But as it was, I was putting my right foot up and putting my hand on my thigh and pulling myself up, because I can't pull up my weight on my left knee. Hey Becky, how's it going? So let's cleanse. So I had a really wonderful time, but I'm in a lot of pain today. So there wasn't really much for me to do physically that I could do except sit and work on my taxes. I mean, I'm in pain already. I might as well get it over with, right? So I've been working yesterday and today on gathering all my stuff because, excuse me. Because when you are a YouTuber and you make and you earn a money on it, in Canada, I don't get taxed, so I have to go through all of my income and add it all up, what there is of it. And then I desperately go through everything looking for receipts to claim stuff. So, and it's a long process because what I'm doing is I have to add up every month's income from each channel. And then I have to make a pile of deductions. And now I've got that done, the easy ones, the receipts. And now I have an entire drawer I have to go through, compiling my phone bill, my internet bill, my property taxes, all that stuff because I work at home. My entire house is part of my my job, right? So hey, Lacey Black, don't say that bad word. Well, it's a good thing I have a tank printer and I buy paper by the box at Costco. Yolana, okay, thank you for reminding me. All right. The Seeds of Hope Exchange lists are in. Again, I'm really grateful I have a tank printer. This is the USA. There were 125 addresses in the USA, and I do believe 25 for Canada. Now, all those people who said that they would not mind mailing outside their country, they're going to be, because there's only 2 people, one in the Netherlands and one in Ireland, that are participating. So I have now printed off all the addresses and names and zones in a list. Now I have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's going to take me all day tomorrow. We're going through these lists to have yours out to you by Saturday, Sunday. Okay? Now, I will be replying to your original email with your list. So if you get a reply from, a reply from this weird email address, you know which one it is. When you get a reply from that, don't tank it. Check your spam folder. It is your list. Oh, that was my oven. I'll be right back. I was wondering what that beep was. Oh. Gotta turn on the Christmas lights. Be right back. You missing Daddy? He'll be home soon. Okay, supper's in the oven. First few steps when I get up are the worst. Oh, and then there's momentum that carries me forward. Well, I mean, I've had some really negative crap thrown at me from YouTube folks and Facebook folks and stuff lately. It's like someone said, "You're such a sloppy cook. You're such a sloppy cook." And someone said, "I stopped watching you when you supported that dumb convoy." And I'm like, well, thanks for sharing your opinion. Enjoy your cage that you obviously live in and like. You know what I mean? It'll be Saturday, Sunday. It'll be Saturday, Sunday. People are going to start seeing their names trickling in. Yeah, it's a lot of work because this is how it goes now. I'm not just sending out 125 American lists. Okay, I'm sending out 125 lists. And the way the list works is the first person gets the next 5 names. And then I'll put ones beside them because that's, and then when they get their list, I go to the next person and they get the next 5 people's list. This is why you should always, if everybody participates, you should get like 8, right? But there's always going to be somebody that says, "Oh, I want in. And then at the last minute goes, "Oh, I can't find seeds anywhere." It's like you got to be prepared ahead of time if you're going to join. You already have to have your seeds in stock, so to speak. Well, yes, people can be rude. Cleansing with sage. It's strange to me. Can you explain what that is or where it comes from? It's very ancient. It's a native, it's an indigenous people indigenous people of North America. It is a sacred herb, white wild sage, and it's basically incense. That's all it is incense. And what it does is it cleanses negative energy, if you believe it, right? Nothing works unless you trust it. And I trust it. It works very well for me, right? So it's just basically cleansing, everybody's seen the TikTok video. Every time I light my sage, my kids are going, "Oh, Mom, you're killing us with that stuff." She said, "I bet you I am, you demons." It's a big joke. But in reality, sage helps cleanse negativity and ill intent. So when I do that, I cleanse it so that we can have a happy, healthy, loving intercourse not intercourse, so that we can have a negative-free live stream and just what I do. I do it in the spring and fall. I sage my whole house. It's like holy water to me, right? Hey, Hell House, how's it going? Squeaky Nips. Happy New Year to you too, darling. Jennifer Jacks, I don't understand why people have to be so negative all the time. Well, because, oh wait, hang on a second. Since last year, have a fabulous day. Well, thank you, Squeaky. You know what? I think I just bought my lights for the growing season. Yay! I think I'm gonna get a set. I might get a set for my sister for her houseplants, and so that she has some like sunshine feeling light. Because this is nighttime light. And this is full spectrum. And then this is the yellow spectrum, right? Which feels to me like sunshine. People can be negative because they have, sometimes it's really hard not to be negative when stuff piles on you, right? But some people don't know how to be any other way. And that's the people we pray for the most. because they're only the longer any negativity you harbor, right? Only poisons you, right? Yes, it upsets and everybody else around you if they allow it to. But the person who's harboring the negativity and resentment and stuff, they're only hurting themselves the most. So, thank you for explaining that, Bev. I had just never understood it. I think they did it in the Bible times too, right? Absolutely, right? That's one of the things. That's why one of the things that made me become a confirmed Catholic when I was 26, which I'm not now. I don't subscribe to any one religion anymore. But it was like the pomp and the ceremony and the incense and the candles. Bloody well pagan, eh? So it was like it appealed to me. But I've always been in touch with some indigenous blood that is in my system. It has to be, because I had a friend who told me, he said, if you got one drop of native blood in you, it'll come to the forefront. It'll find you, So, hey, Kim, how's it going? Anymore, I just say people are crazy. I even have my mom doing that now when she's out driving. People are crazy, which is much better than flipping them off. Yeah, it took me a long time to get over road rage. Road rage was, rage. I have rage issues. I remember talking to my brother and my sister. There's a video of me making relish, and they're in the back. They're sitting at the table while I'm trying to film it, and they're picking on me and stuff. It was really funny. But I remember that conversation specifically because I was talking to my brother and sister about how I've always had anger issues. And he said, no, Bev, you don't have anger issues. I said, no, I've always had anger issues. He said, no, sweetheart, we have rage issues. He said, it's got to be some kind of berserker bloodline back to the Vikings and the Scots, because we have rage issues. If left unchecked, they can be very, very dangerous. So I've worked on my rage issues for a really long time, right? I have so many seeds. I'm going to winter sowing perennials this year. You know what? I'm going to try a little bit of winter sowing, just with herbs, just to see, right? I'm not going to trust tomato plants or anything like that, but being in Australia, I doubt they would go get through customs. Well, I mean, you can only try, right? But this seed exchange is now closed. It's been closed since January 14th. And I've had people email me at Connected Heart saying, I want to be in the exchange. Sorry, it's closed. And you've written the wrong address. I mean, several people. And I feel really bad to leave anybody out. But for my own sanity, I had to give specific dates about when things were going to get done and be open and closed and all that stuff. And I have to stick by them. Because I was so sick when I did it in November that I screwed it up, and I ended up doing it twice. And still people didn't get all their, still all the people didn't get their addresses and stuff. So this time I'm keeping it, it's a little bit more complicated mechanically, but it's going to save my sanity in the long run. Hey, Sandra, how are you? Yeah, exactly. I got to keep my sanity, right? I still have no idea how I'm going to finish reading a book and get my Cooking with Cannabis channel on Rumble up and running and still manage, I'm going to be starting seed soon. So these are all things that are going on in that on a daily basis. I don't think people, even Howie, I don't think that he realizes I work 7 days a week. 7 days a week. And if I want a day off, I have to upload all my work in advance. I may be doing something that's, I may be trying, it's going to be a lot of extra work, but once I get it started, it should be self-perpetuating. I might be beta testing overdubbing in different languages. It'll be starting with Spanish, but just so that to see if, more people can have, more people can have a broader access because they can watch my videos in their own language, right? I know, Joe. I was waiting for you to say that. Which carrot seeds? I've gotten a lot of carrot seeds, honey. I've gotten seeds. And that's another thing. If you're in the seed exchange, don't send more than 2 packets of seeds because it can get overwhelming, right? But I mean, if you want to send 1 vegetable, 1 herb, that's great. But like, God love you and God bless your generosity, people. But I was getting Christmas cards with 5 and 6 packets of seeds in them. I was like, no, I can't do it. I have too many seeds. EJ, hey, Holly, hi. I just watched your video on the milk and bread poultice with your puppy. Made me think how little I know in this area. It was fantastic. Yeah. The problem with that is Penny had bitten Pixie's leg. And because it didn't bleed, we didn't think to check for puncture wounds. And there was a couple of them. And they didn't bleed. So they got infected because bleeding, the first bit of bleeding is always actually good because it pushes it and bacteria out of the wound with the blood, right? So if it doesn't bleed, right, and you don't see it because her fur was black, there's no blood, you don't see a hole, right? Then, it's another dog's teeth. It's a fight. It's an absolute breeding ground for bacteria infection, right? And bread and milk, hot milk and homemade bread's the best because it's the fresh yeast, right? If you don't have that, you can use hops. Hell, you can use yeast. Just, make a poultice, but you could add extra yeast to the milk, but the milk's got to be hot. And the bread has got to be already made because hot milk will kill yeast. So forget my thing about adding yeast. But hot milk, as hot as you can stand it, and then the bread, it draws poison. It opens the wound and draws poison. It just does. Hey, Brenda Decker. Aces! You were going to get carrot seeds, and I didn't know you'd already gotten. Oh, I got lots of carrot seeds. That's okay. I'm planting carrots this year. I might even try planting some in a bucket just to see how it goes. You know what I mean? Tea bags work well too. Used tea bags. In other words, they've had boiling water poured over them and they've been allowed to cool down enough to apply. Right? You don't want just a wet tea bag. You want something that's actually been steeped slightly in hot water. What zone is Hawaii? Good question. I'm probably 11 or 12. Maybe a future series like What Would Your Grandma Tell You to Save? Well, I mean, that's what I'm going to do is in bucket and space them out. There you go. Well, I mean, everything I do nowadays it's like, you're getting another video tomorrow and it's roast beef meal number 5. Why? Because 3 and 4 were actually how he did get his roast beef sandwiches for lunch. He got 2 on the one day and 2 on the next day. So there was 2 more meals. If we had been eating them as a supper meal, it would have been 1 sandwich each, like we would have done like the hot chicken, right? But he took 2 sandwiches, which is 2 servings, which is, Oh no, it's not about Gracie. This was about Pixie, my one of my Boston Terriers. No, I'm actually thinking of. I used to get styes all the time, Jennifer, when I was a kid, and I was told it was because we ate too much oatmeal, which I don't know. But a tea bag worked. I've had 2 styes under one eyelid once. Couldn't see out of my eye. It was really bad. I use large coolers filled with soil to plant carrots. I have some I can go pull now, even with the deep freeze. So do you? Okay, that make you know what, Michelle? That's brilliant. Do you overwinter them right in the soil? Like, do you just like close the cooler before, in the fall? Right? Do you just like close the lid? Like, I'm not sure. Right? How would you do that? Like, please expand on that thought. Again, Andrew's here and he in containers too. No need to close. Okay. Any container I have in the yard is going to have something growing in it. Well, lose their sweetness if frosted. Well, but parsnips are sweeter after a frost. I'm not growing any parsnips or rutabagas this year. But yeah, I'm thinking as soon as Howie finishes his 2-week-old bottle of Dr. Pepper, I might try some herbs. And I have some of those salad containers that I might, use as a winter planting thing. I know. He got his sandwiches. But Andrew, who's that gentleman who does the carrot planting in the containers, and he makes a template that you can just poke holes. Brussels sprouts are better after a frost. Yeah, Howie won't eat Brussels sprouts. I friggin' love them. I love Brussels sprouts. Homegrown veg. People throw old coolers out regularly. I plant fruit bushes and tomatoes, anything. That's surprising not growing rutabaga this year, Bev. You know why? Because we're still eating the rutabagas and the carrots from 2020. And last year's parsnips and rutabagas are on the shelf as well. So I'm not going to grow any this year. I'm not. But I love that. Like someone said, oh, another root mash veg. Well, the first one was rutabagas and carrots with molasses. And the other one was rutabagas and carrots and parsnips with butter. What's your problem with a root mash? I don't think people seem to understand that we are seasonal eaters. We live in a climate that if we eat seasonally, it's less disruptive. Well, for me personally, it's less disruptive to my digestive system. I live on salads and watermelon and fruit all summer long. In the fall, in the winter, we eat a lot of root veg, home canned root veg, and home canned stuff. And the fruit is apples, which they're going soft now. When we buy them, they're kind of soft. So I'm moving on to grapes, and then from grapes goes into watermelon. I'm a seasonal eater. And if I were to eat a romaine lettuce salad right now, it would be out of me in 6 hours. But I can eat it all summer long. It's just the way my body works, I guess. How about butternut? No, I'm not planting any squash this year. The only squash I'm planting this year is zucchini. I'm not planting squash because I still have like 5 to 8 jars of pumpkin. And, I haven't even made a pumpkin. I don't even think I've made more than one pumpkin pie in the last 12 months. Right? So, Bev, I saw that comment. I replied back that you cook for your husband, not her. Oh, well, you know what, honey? Don't feed the trolls. Thank you so much for that. But the truth is, I love it that you love me and you would defend me. But don't give them your time of day. Because when you give them your time of day, they're getting the attention they crave. Right? So just let them go. Hey, Willows, how's it going? Seen a rutabaga today at the store that was as big as a small cantaloupe. Yeah. They're usually about that big. But size of my upper head here in Canada. Thank you, Linda. It's about us staying positive. When you buy it, and it's hard sometimes. I know it's a really, Joe Mama says every day, I don't know how you do it. But the truth is I've learned from years of experience on YouTube and on the internet that if somebody throws negative energy at you, throwing it back is an engagement, and therefore you're accepting the negative energy. If you just walk by it, if they throw it at you and you step aside and keep going on with your day, they don't get the engagement that they need to fuel their negativity. So it's all about how we handle it. It's all about how I handle negativity. Like I noticed last night, Howie and I were talking politics in the truck because one of the few times we actually talk, like and have really big conversations is when we're driving somewhere, right? We don't play the radio or anything, we talk. And we were talking politics, and I noticed the energy in the truck was getting angry. And I said, you know what? This is my birthday present. Let's just let it go, right? Let's just drop this discussion and talk about Beethoven and what to expect. We said, well, I don't know what to expect. I've never even been to the National Arts Center. So, what regular email address, sweetheart? Beth Cheryl, hi. Ella B. The regular email address? Who's regular? The Connected Hearts? Connected Hearts Family at gmail.com. All one word. Connected Hearts Family. All one word. Thank you, Seashell. Thank you. So I'm really excited that 4 Jars is going to be shipping from Canada now. There's a 4 Jars website. I'm not going to make as much affiliate from it, but because it's new and they're just they've got growing pains. So my take is like 5% of the sales. But the fact that it's available to Canadians now is so exciting. Oh, we had a great time, Willis. We had a great time. It was an emotional education. It was an education just to watch. I leaned over and said to Howie, I said, look at these musicians. They're all fucking rock stars. Sorry. They're all rock stars. Bum, 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 bum. I wanted those big old drums, man, with the I'm a drum person, and not necessarily a rock drum kit. I'm talking like bongos and native drums and stuff like that. Did you know they are working on 4 Jars? Yes, they are. Here, there's the Canadian website. Seashell will put up the American one. And so now I have 2 websites I got to keep track of. I like I love cello. Does anybody ever seen the movie The Witches of Eastwick? And Susan Sarandon was this really kind of careful, uptight music teacher who played the cello. And she was doing this thing. She was practicing, and Jack Nicholson came in and got on the piano and the violin, and she was like, whoa, right? It's one of my favorite scenes. It's one of my favorite scenes. But yeah, I love cello music. I love piano. I love music. I love music. I love music. Got that rhythm. Can it get any better than that? Oh, that's really bad. Piano is a wonder to me. Such an old idea. Well, that's the one thing. As I sat there and I watched the cellos and the violins and the violas and the bass fiddles and the bass violins and the bass fiddles and the cellos and the different sizes of oboes and flutes and French horns and trombones and all this stuff, right? Not only did it dawn on me that somebody wrote for each individual instrument that is in that orchestra. Beethoven wrote the music for every one of those instruments. And also the fact that everybody there was, it was so flawless. It was like a record. But what made it come alive was the inner, they were all pretty still, like they weren't up and jumping around and stuff, but you could tell that when they were playing their music, they were just alive with the music. And then something else dawned on me. Every single one of those instruments has changed very little since they were designed hundreds of years ago. They're still playing the same style instruments that Beethoven wrote for. Like, yeah, people listen to techno, raves and stuff like that. But the miracle of the classical music, that it's not just the classical music, but that very little has changed on the face of music in how they create it and how they produce it. It's like some of these instruments have not changed in hundreds of years, maybe even thousands, right? But they're beautiful, right? Matt can play just about any instrument with strings. Yeah, my brother Bob is the same way. My dad could pick up an instrument. I see, that's the thing. I looked through all of the instruments, realizing that I probably would end up, if I wanted to take up an instrument today, it would be like the French horn. Why? Because I can't do this, and I can't do this, and I can't do this anymore, right? I used to play guitar. I can't anymore. I used to play piano. I can't anymore. A little bit of piano, not much. But my son plays cello, my favorite instrument. Love The Witches of Eastwick. Yeah, it was a great movie. So I used to be a music teacher, and I was always awed at my middle school boys who were so scared to take a risk making music vocally, but they idolize pop stars that are men. Music, yeah, I have a niece who's a music teacher, and I have another niece, her sister is an art teacher. And so, I mean, my family's full of music, right? I mean, what saddens me more than anything is that Breyer is really good. He's one of those people who can just about pick up any instrument. He's got an electric keyboard. He's got a bass. He's got an electric guitar. He's got an acoustic guitar. Hell, I've got an amp in my dining room that I have to sell because he doesn't an acoustic amp that he doesn't use, right? But the only thing he learned was a little bit of high school stuff, right? I forced him to take music. But the thing is what's really sad is he won't play in front of anybody. We could have an entire bonfire going with 100 instruments, and Breyer would not pick one up. He just wouldn't. He's just so socially awkward. You know what I mean? I knew a guy years ago was blind and can play Metallica on the drums. It was awesome to see. Well, I mean, the drums are pretty stationary, right? Think about it. What do you need eyes for? How many typists type without ever looking at the keyboard, right? Hey, Sam Dix, how's it going? So, I mean, it's something that we're going to repeat. It's something we're going to repeat as soon as, I got other things to do first, but I do believe I'm going to start looking as soon as I get off here. Actually, I'm going to go look at the website for the National Arts Center and see what's coming up this year, so that I can, pick and choose. And if there's a really good concert pre-Christmas and it's going to be expensive because I want good seats, then at least I know what to shoot for, right? I bought my daughter an electric guitar with headphones that hook into it so she can enjoy without feeling on display. Our boys played hockey, so no time for anything else. Oh, yeah, I know. And then our youngest started using my old piano books and YouTube and taught himself. Exactly, right? But my hands don't work so good anymore, and mice keep building nests in my piano. So the piano may have to go, because no matter how well I get it cleaned and tuned, they're just going to build a nest in it again. Because you can't steam clean a piano. You know what I mean? I will do that, Linda. I will do that. But listen, folks, it's going on an hour, and I still have some work to do. I want to finish editing chapter 21 for my reading channel, because tomorrow's going to be a really busy day. All right. So now is the time. We're going to close with a prayer. And if you don't want to, this is not about religion. This is about you tapping into your faith and me tapping into mine. And we'll meet where the common ground of divine love reaches us all. And you don't have to stay. There is no judgment if you don't stay. Really, it's not everybody is different. And that's okay. That's what makes us who we are. So, anybody who wants to leave now, go right ahead. Please feel free to take away some of the beautiful energy that came with this live stream today. It was really, really awesome. As much pain as I'm in and dealing with taxes, it's all just a part of everyday life, isn't it? Right? Take care. Those who are leaving, take care. God bless. Mwah. Love you all. And for all those who care to, please help me close with some spiritual nourishment. You tap into whatever you have faith in, and I'll tap into mine. And together we will meet heart to heart, hand to hand, and God's, or in the universe's divine light. Whatever the Creator's divine light of love. So let's do some deep breathing to breathe in the joy and the peace and the love, and breathe out the negativity and darkness and that stuff. To breathe in light and breathe out pain, and whatever you want. Use the breathing in to cleanse, to pull in good, and the breathing out to cleanse out. That's why we go in through the nose, down, and out through the mouth, because it's a loop, isn't it? All right. Hey, God, creator and source of all. Thanks for bringing us together today, God. And I got to say, thank you for my husband's gift. You really inspired him, and I appreciate that. I didn't get a garbage can for my birthday this year, so I'm really happy about that. And thank you for letting me be so totally open to the experience and the history and the love and the music. It was really an awesome event. Thank you for bringing us all together, God, as we like to talk and share and lift each other up and share information and love and kindness. And just be here for each other whenever we can. But there's a lot of folks out there, God, that are having their patience sorely tried by loved ones. People treating them with less dignity and respect than they deserve. People who are ill. People who are dealing with ill family members. People who are alone, neglected, rejected, addicted. All the dids, right? God, we lift those people up to you today, and let the light of your love pour down on them. And as it pours down on them, let it fill us, God, so that as we walk forward, heart to heart, hand to hand, that we spread the light of your love, so that anybody who's having a hard time in the darkness of negativity or circumstances in their life has a hope of seeing some light and can come forward and get some spiritual nourishment as we all move forward, shedding your light. Thank you, God, for loving us enough, for loving us into the realization that love is the answer to everything. You think about that. I do. Thank you, God. Look after my friends and family, God. Shalom. Namaste. Peace be with you. Merry meet, merry part. Blessed be. Walk in the shining light of God's love. Whatever language you use when you connect with the divine. Isn't love the best one, honestly? Take care. God bless, and we'll see you guys on Sunday. Mwah.